Hey, it's the publisher here, Mr. Kelly Cole. Listen, if you are a former professional athlete, if you are a former college athlete or sports coach, and you're looking to launch your speaking career, let me tell you, you need a book. If you're already out there speaking and you want to track more high paid speaking engagements, you need a book. It's not about creating more content to post on social media. It's not about recording a bunch of videos. It's not about doing more podcasts. The number one secret to attracting more high paid speaking engagements or even launching your speaking career is a book. Hey, I'm the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole, and I help former athletes and sports coaches create best-selling books in 30 days to launch their speaking career, even if they hate writing and don't know where to start. So for the first time ever, I've created a free case study video that will not only show you how to write a book from scratch in as little as 30 days and become a best-selling author, it will also show you how to attract more high-paid speaking engagements. Now, to check out this free case study video, click the link that says learn more or go to booksforathletes.com. Real quick before you go, do not go if you're not a former athlete or sports coach, because you won't find any value in what I'm about to share. And don't go if your book is already out and already on Amazon. You won't find any value in what I share over there. But if you are a former athlete or sports coach, know that you need a book, or already out there speaking and you want to launch your speaking career, go check out that link now. Writing a book is not as hard as you think. It doesn't even matter if you don't know where to start. My case study video will show you how to start and get it done and onto the bestsellers list. So go now.
Welcome to the Books for Athletes podcast with your host, the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole. Mr. Cole, a former athlete and best-selling author himself, has set out to take you behind the scenes of some of sports' forgotten heroes. He sits down with former professional athletes, college athletes, and sports coaches as they share stories of triumph, defeat, dedication, and perseverance. Here's Kelly.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Books for Athletes podcast. Today, we got a special guest, and by I mean special, we are family. I call her my big sister because she gives me all kind of trouble. Welcome, my friend, my sister, C.F. Jackson. How are you, sis?
I was doing pretty good. See, once I get you in trouble, I try to keep you out of trouble. You just don't listen. But it's a pleasure to have you be here today.
I said you give me trouble, meaning you always picking on me.
I'll give you trouble with that too. That's facts. I'm gonna harass you. You're a good person.
Real quick, tell the people a little bit about who you are before I jump into questions.
Sure. So I'm C.F. Jackson with iDefineTV.com. In a nutshell, what we do, we help people in terms of maybe athlete, but it'd be anybody from entrepreneur, authors, those who are coaching, those who are in the creative world, taking you from YouTube to TV. And when it says TV, I'm speaking of Roku in terms of where we are today. Oftentimes people think they can't be on television, and Roku is the number one streaming TV platform today. And so it's my goal and my mission to help those who are in the world of recognizing that they can be on television and reach a global audience really simply. And you can do it in a way that's very affordable at the comfort of your home, utilizing what you already have, maybe a webcam, smartphone, digital camcorder, everything that's in between, and at the same time, position yourself as an expert and authority. So that's what I do in a nutshell, help you create videos, but at the same time, give you media distribution utilizing Roku.
Dope, good stuff. I saw you shared an article. Well, I think you turned a video into an article about how Roku is going, they're investing more in actual hardware. So like Roku TVs and stuff. You want to share a little bit about that? Like, why is that important for what you do?
Yeah, so Roku had been in partnership. Many people already may have a Roku TV, and they had been in partner, for example, with TCL. That's who they initially was in partnership with. And I was listening to and reading some of the things they had been doing over the time of the pandemic. I think they felt they was in kind of in a bondage because some of the products weren't getting here timely, but they had to lean on a partner. So I think that was part of the reason to say we're going to produce our own. So if we not get it, it's because we can't get it, not because our partners can't get it. And so they created their own TVs. And they also, if you didn't know, they have their smart home device as well. They rolled that out last year, where now you can get smart devices for cameras for your home, for the outdoors. If you want to watch this, all the securities on your Roku. So they go. It's really their mission is to stream every TV around the world. So their mediums, okay, they make money off the actual advertisement. So just get more of the actual equipment out there, the TVs, the streaming players, and all that kind of stuff. So it sounds like pretty positive right now. They're doing good and their stocks is going up and down, but they're recovering.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So with iDefine TV and what you do, how would that benefit an athlete per se who just released a book with me?
Oh, I mean, in multiple ways. One, because of the fact that in terms of more coverage you get, the more exposure you get. More people can kind of say, for example, an athlete, for example, you have Scott Williams, one of the athletes. You had the pleasure of having his book created and did the whole thing from A to Z. And many people, myself, I was a Chicago Bulls fan back in the day, so it will help him in terms of people have memories of those games. If he want to take the time, the opportunity to maybe take the time to reminisce about what's in the parts of his book, maybe do a short series about time as your Chicago Bulls or some of the parts that's in the book, and then drive people back to why they want to buy the book. Don't cover everything in the book, but give people opportunity who didn't know he has a book, because not everyone's going to be online. Not everyone's going to find you on YouTube. Not everyone's going to find you on Facebook, Twitter, IG. It's like anything else. Imagine McDonald's have more than just one medium to where they're promoting their sandwiches and their fries. They're everywhere, and marketing omnipresence. So you can be any and everywhere, and people spend, I just read a couple months ago, spending like almost 4 hours a day in front of their Roku, in front of television. So there's consuming content here. Why not be here in a way that you can control it and not be alienated with a whole bunch of ads and things of that nature, but promote it in a way that's conducive to your liking. So get the word out in most places, and TV is where we are right now. It's not going anywhere.
That's good. That's good. How can what would be a way that they can monetize like their channels?
So someone got a channel, oh my goodness, you can do a whole lot. It's ownership. People often ask, oh, what's the difference between Roku and YouTube? Ownership. Since we're fam, you had your YouTube channel yanked from you because of something you didn't even know you did, right?
Right.
So, and then I see somebody a couple weeks ago, they had like over 1 million people. And my thing is, you get to a point where you have grown to 6 figures, even if you got 70,000 people, it's time to really have ownership. So they have over 1 million some odd subscribers to their YouTube channel. They did something, I don't know what they did, and YouTube has booted them out of their partner program. Wow. So if you had at that point, having someone of that level of subscribers, why not start taking them over to your own house? You're over there, you're really renting when you're on the YouTube or Facebook and the likes. Build your own property on Roku ownership, and then again, how to monetize it. Instead of waiting for them to pay you, you can get advertisers yourself, your own sponsors to pay you out front. Okay, you can be a title sponsor for my Roku channel, 10,000, 15,000, however much you want, and it can come straight to you. There's no percentage going to anybody else. If you have content creators, okay, I don't have time to do all the content creating myself. There can be a content creator on your channel and paying you a monthly fee. So there's a multitude of ways you can look at it where you're able to monetize it to where you have ownership of it. Like anything else, you still want to have the rights to anything you're producing, but that's in the easiest way. Content producers and have advertisers, sponsors paying you out the gate to be on your channel.
That's good. I just thought of an idea while you was talking that, maybe they might not even think about like having your own channel and media outlet. You can have the opportunity to be, media at different sporting events, right?
Yeah.
Like the Super Bowl and things like that. Tell them how you've been able to do that in your business.
Oh, Kelly, it's amazing once you have that under your umbrella. People look at you differently. You could be at home. I could be at home sitting at my desk and someone's inviting me to be part of something here in Atlanta. I'm based here in Atlanta, and they want you to participate because they want more eyeballs on their event. They want more coverage of their event. So if you're already in terms of sports and you're an athlete who's retired or moved on, but you still want to be in the ambiance of it all, why not create yourself a media company to where now they're going to invite you? One, you have a name behind yourself because you were in the NBA, NFL, wherever you may be. Yeah. 2, they want to invite you because it's going to have that sense of, oh, here goes so-and-so sticking with Scott Williams. Here's Scott Williams. He can come out, introduce himself, if you have some kids or even get some interns to cover the event with him, get some footage in itself. And then there he is covering him, getting more word out about what he's got going on, his book, and at the same time covering the event. So that's more content he's creating, but it's really, you can be anywhere, everywhere, because people recognize you. You Chicago Bulls, man. Who doesn't know Scott Williams? Or who doesn't know so and so and so and so? You just continue keeping the energy flowing. And at the same time, when they ask what you got going on, you're gonna say, well, I got a book out, plus I got my own channel.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff. And Scott's like 7 feet tall. You can't miss that joker.
Yeah, that's true. That's neither here nor there, Kelly.
He's like 7 feet tall. But yeah.
Yo, what up? It's your girl JC, and listen, I have to send a special shout out to my guy, Mr. Kelly Cole, and the entire team at Publishing Advantage Group and Books for Athletes. They took so great care of me to the point that I know I'm the pickiest person. This book was supposed to have been finished last summer. However, there were some details that I needed to make sure that the book had because my audience needed it. And, when it comes down to feeding and serving the people, especially as a former athlete and telling your story, you cannot be selfish with the material and give it away. And they worked with me from the time of my thought process to the time of conception, all the way down to now, top 20 hot release best-selling author on Amazon in 24 hours. Listen, if you're an athlete, you have a story to tell, and you don't know how to put it in book form just yet, don't worry, you're not alone, okay? Hit my guy, Mr. Kelly Cole, and tell him what you're trying to do, and I promise you he gonna get you right, all right? And of course, check me out on Amazon after the season. Shout out to the Books for Athletes family.
That's all good stuff. So what would be the steps? So say like they have this idea, they have their book. What would be the steps in them like creating their own show with iDefine TV?
So pretty much you want to have a commitment. The first thing I say, before you want to have a show, most people want to have a show, but you got to be committed to how much content you're going to create. You don't need to start something and don't want to finish it. That's one of the things that could be annoying. You start something, create a 15 to 30 minute, because I don't go crazy. You don't need a whole hour, 2 hour. What does subject matter? What is the subject matter that you want us to present on a regular basis? So just define what that is. If it's going to be a subject matter within your book, do that. Yeah. Some of that could be solo, or you're going to interview, because now we're in a world where you can actually interview people around the world. I mean, I've interviewed people from as far as India, from Australia, Canada, of course, the United States, Hawaii, and all that, utilizing what we're on right now. You can utilize Zoom and get it all edited and look professional, get you the right type of equipment, HD webcam, your microphones and all that lighting. That's all you need to do, and just take the time to identify what is it that I want to talk about. And like anything else, is if you was a teacher or a professor, outline it. Outline what you're going to discuss and say, okay, I'm going to do maybe my series, my season may last for 10 episodes. And do the first 10 episodes. And then identify, can I interview this person, bring this person in, and I'm going to talk solo for myself. And that's the first part, identifying that part, getting the equipment, and then say, okay, this is how much content I'm going to create once a week, maybe twice a week. And we identify which packet you want and move from there. You create it, we get it edited for you, upload it, and you just continue to watch, rinse, and repeat. We keep it really simple. Then we provide for you in that. We make sure we promote you across social media, provide you with some graphics to help you along the way. We promote you on different groups, email marketing, all that good stuff. We also we're adding, because you didn't know, 2.0. iDefine TV is 10 years next month. So we're adding into that part. We're going to be actually spotlighting you on the iDefine TV channel. We do press release writing for you, submit it. So we look at all the ways we can continue to help you get out there. But the most important thing is you being committed and creating the content, because we can do everything else, but if you can't be committed of creating a 30-minute season, an episode, then it's going to be a challenge for you.
I get it. Yeah, this is you hear this buzzword of generational wealth. And this is a way to start building generational wealth, and it doesn't, stop with the book. Like, think about, to name names, think about if your channel became the next Tubi, it became the next Netflix, it became the next ESPN on Roku. Like, the possibilities are endless. And like you said, if you already have a podcast, like the people that already have podcasts,
Yeah.
that they're putting on YouTube, why not put clips out on YouTube, clips out on social media, but then drive them back to your own channel that you own?
Exactly.
Is no better than, ownership. And I think the great philosopher Jay-Z said, you can't be free until you own something. This is
Mm,
your opportunity to own your land. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But not to cut you off, Kelly, but the
Yeah,
thing is, a lot of people don't recognize it. You know, if you can go on your social media platform and pretty much ask people, do they have a Roku TV or Roku player? And about 60% or more will have a Roku device. That's how it becomes a norm. Roku is at 70 something, 73, 74 million in households across the United States. And cable has dropped down to like 60 million down. So Roku is growing, cable is dropping, cord cutting. So if that many people and it's continue to grow, and you can do it in a way that's back in the day to be on television, you had to be a billionaire.
yeah,
Now it's not that expensive to have ownership to where now start where you are and scale it. Don't think you have to be at a Sony level, or a Paramount. Start where you are. Especially if you're someone in the league who's retired, don't do it alone. Maybe it could be a channel for five Chicago Bulls players coming together, create a channel that's niche for Chicago Bulls players about what's happening in the industry today, what happened back in the day, and come together. You don't have to do it alone, but come together and partner together to create a channel for a particular subject matter around that, and you'll be amazed at how it can explode to something totally different. Like not to spam, but for example, those who have been the writers. I think a lot of those actors and a lot of those writers, if they had create some of their content and put it in terms of a Roku and monetize in a way, that
yeah.
would be another streaming revenue for them compared to just regular, requiring or waiting for that check coming in from those gigs for the industry, but start how to parlay that into their own project utilizing a Roku in itself.
That's good. Oh man, the ideas are just flowing. So make sure I'm gonna put the links below to get more information about how to do this. But here's another idea I had. Like,
Okay.
one of my authors, let me see the most recent one.
Mhm.
My guy Shelton Jones, he has an amazing story in a book called The Kojic Trailblazer. Like, just think about if he took the book, took his story, raised money to actually shoot a documentary, right? And
Right.
include in the fundraising to get his own Roku channel, right? And how
Mhm.
he monetize it is like you said, they have to pay to view the documentary. So you're not only selling the book, you're viewing the documentary, and then you could do product placements, you could sell the sponsorships and all of that. My mind is just going. I think, man, I think this is just amazing. So I hope they're paying attention
Yeah.
and thinking about the different ways that they can actually monetize and why it's important to do this. It's
Yeah.
all about ownership.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Dennis Haley. I am the author of the playbook, The Art of Dreaming. Um, just want to say a special thank you to Kelly Cole and the Publishing Advantage Group team. Man, they were with me from day one until the time I finished, and still with me to this day. What a blessing to have them be with me and to walk me through this journey and to be a part of this journey. They have been nothing but class acts, and they know what they're talking about. And just again, it is a blessing to be a part of this team and for them to guide me down the path to success. So thank you for everything that you have done. I look forward to many more projects with you guys and continue to be a blessing to many. Thank you.
It is. And at the same time, it's to perceive, I know you be shoot me in sometimes, like, you can have all this. It's another level in terms of taking you to the next phase. You have back in the day, you had your website. Back in the day, now you have this awesome. I mean, because you have an ebook, but you have a book now. You're serious. When somebody say you have an actual physical book, you created this project, you took time to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. You can have your YouTube, not knock it, but then you scale it to now you're on television. People look at it differently. I say to myself, I want to redefine TV with like 5,000 entrepreneurs who are, or even athletes, whomever they may be, to redefine it because we can now. I define TV as television built by you. When
Yeah.
we the whole idea came to me, Kelly. I'm sitting there looking at it, and I had no idea. Be transparent. somebody mentioned it first. I had never heard of Roku. I was like, okay, what's this whole Roku thing? I come home and Googled it. And I saw that Sony, if you didn't know, Sony had one. I said, oh, everybody heard of Sony. Somebody had a Sony Walkman, boombox,
Yep.
TV, something in the house, Sony. So I bought a Sony and I was complacent with like, okay, none of my friends had it. I'm doing some things. Come around the corner, here come Kelly Cole. Yo, sis, you can get on this Roku. I'm like, what is this Roku thing? That's 2 times in a year's time, but I still wasn't trying to hear Kelly. How can I get on the Sony? Because I still hadn't heard of a Roku but 2 times. And I couldn't figure it out. So I bought the Roku and my mind was blown away. Better design, a lot more content. And there I was. I'm like, wow, how does this work? And my thought was like, for me, got into this whole world into the entrepreneurship, becoming an author back in 2003. So myself was okay, being an author, you got to get out there, got to get the book out there, get on the radio, try to get on television. You know how the game works, Kelly. So that was a lot. And then back in 2004, I had an actual physical book. So I didn't have on demand. So I get my money back. I had $1,000 in this whole deal. So I had to get out there and hustle. But thinking about it, well, how can I help others? And my first thought was like, okay, what does this mean? And I Define TV came. It really just dropped into me. Like, it's all about, it's a mantra, it's an affirmation when you say, when people say, I want them to say, I define TV. And I'm going to say to you, yes, you do define TV. Television is built by you. So we all define TV now. And so it's for the person who's a dreamer, the visionary, the doer, whoever desired to be on television, but believe they couldn't do it. But now you're at a whole nother level. You don't need to wait for Oprah Winfrey. Now, if she called you to be on Super Soul Sunday, I'm going. We're going to go, right? But you don't have to have Super Soul Sunday to have your own version of an Oprah Winfrey network. You can have your very own and do it in a way that you can grow and you do everything you think about community-based, whatever you can aspire and think of, it can be done at the comfort of your home and grow into on-site and everything else in between, documentaries and everything else. It blew my mind and there's Kelly Cole. I said, no, and boom, there it is. I Define TV and making in 10 years next year. Next month, 10 years.
That's awesome. Congratulations on 10 years. 10 years. Yeah. That's good stuff. Another idea I just thought about while you were talking, what about people who already have like digital courses? Is that something that can get their own Roku channel and put their course online?
If you can vision it, you can do it. Now, I do want to be transparent. Some things you want to be mindful of, unless you have a nice size audience that you can drive a lot of traffic to, but you want to be mindful of putting too much things behind a paywall on the device because you want to make sure you have some of the things that can come and watch it. Because like most things, people, they get kind of anxious about ads and all that kind of stuff. So you want to kind of be mindful of that to be more pacing the kind of stuff. But if you have like a large audience of people, you can drive traffic there. Like for the guys I was telling you about who had over 1 million people, they would have had no problem having something behind a paywall because they could have drove half of that people over there, watched it, they'll pay whoever they want to pay. Now, when you do something like that, Roku does take a percentage because of how its system is all built out in the back end, because it's going to be processed through their systems, like 20%. So all depends on how you lay it out. But it's anything you can envision. I get my actual my developer, we can put it together and put it and make it happen. So it's a process. So we can start simple, we can scale it to a whole other level, but just let us know and I get my developer on it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, anything that they need to know that I didn't ask you, because I don't want to, sometimes as, like I said, as a book publisher, I know what they need to know. I may not know the question to ask you. Is there anything I didn't ask you that they may need to know?
I would say, if anything, they should be creating videos, period. So you may be thinking, okay, I'm not ready for Roku, or I'm not ready. You should be creating videos, period. I remember years ago, I had a mentor, and one of the things, especially all these authors that you definitely have published over the years and continue to publish, or anybody who has a book, is that when you're doing the actual video, the book you ought to be teaching from the book. So, for example, the book should be in your face. They should be able to see the cover of the book. And you're not covering the whole entire book. Chapter 5, we're discussing this to make them draw into wanting to buy the book. But anything, don't get stuck behind that you have to have it to be, again, Sony quality. Again, we all know Sony. We have these digital production companies right here in the palm of our hands. Take the time to dig into how it works. It's cute to take phone calls, to play games, but learn how to do some of the basic things. And sometimes I love people in terms of, in terms of TikTok and all that, but sometimes you want something a little bit more professional. Turn that phone to the side because we are in a widescreen world. So if you want to put something towards something that gives you that sense of a television look, turn it to the side and give you that look where, okay, now we're going to look this way and look into and find the lens. Find the lens. Don't look at yourself. I'm going to say, don't look at yourself on the phone. If you look at yourself, it means you're not looking in the lens. If you look kind of crazy, so I'm a little teaching thing. Find the lens, connect with the people, and find your next contact, your next lead, your next customer. But make sure you're creating videos, period. And at the end of the day, when you're ready, definitely sit down. We're able to consult, walk you through some things, some tips and strategy, resources, because it doesn't have to be that hard, because we have everything we need at the comfort of our homes to make those things happen.
Kelly, Books for Athletes is probably the best thing I stumbled across towards the end of this process of writing this with Ben Guest. I have been so pleasantly pleased with the way you have stepped me through the final processes of getting my book on Amazon, where we are currently ranked the number one new release after just 24 hours on Amazon. So I can't thank you enough and your team for all you guys have done to help me achieve my goal of being a published author.
That's it. All right, I'm gonna put the link below. Make sure you click the link, schedule a call, set up some time to talk to CF, and you need to think about ownership, starting generational wealth. One thing about a book, it lasts forever. Another thing, if you own something, you can pass it on to the next generation. And this thing can keep going. And just like every big organization or Fortune 500 company, they started small. And as my sister said, they scale to the beginning. One thing, my son got to perform for a Chick-fil-A franchise. And so I was able to talk to the owner, and I was like, what do you like about owning a Chick-fil-A franchise and what don't you like? And he's like, I don't like the fact that I cannot pass this on to my son. And I was like, what? He's like, no.
Yeah.
He said, if I ever retire, he said, they give me my $10,000 back, and then they find somebody else to give my store to. I can't pass it on to my son.
That's eye-opening, Kelly. Is that everywhere? Like all
Chick-fil-A,
franchises?
all Chick-fil-A's, just Chick-fil-A.
Really?
Yeah. That's why they call owner operators. So with Chick-fil-A, you can't just own those. You gotta operate them. So you gotta actually work in the store. And if you ever retire, they give you your $10,000 back investment, and then they get somebody else that's in line for a store, and they give them your store.
What?
Yeah.
So the front door. That is eye-opening. Because they know they're killing it.
With your own network, though. I said all that to say, with your own network, it can be passed down to your son. It can be passed down to your granddaughter, your grandson, and it can go on for generations to generation, and it doesn't ever have to stop. TV has only evolved, right? I remember when TV was black and white.
And your mom called you to change the channel.
Exactly, right? And you hit on, I don't know the last time I had cable.
Yeah.
Every TV in my house is a Roku TV. But I don't remember the last time I had cable. I just don't. So get signed up, click the link below, schedule some time, get with CF, get your own channel. Any final words before I let you out of here?
If anything, I think one thing I want to share too is that what part we had to discuss is the best part about it is creating that media company. It comes with it. It comes with so many benefits. We've done so many things locally here in Atlanta, been media partner for so many, for Black Enterprise, Atlanta Film Festival, from Jack Daniels. People reach out to you because you have those eyes. So you may start small, want to have a show on Audifying TV and scale it from there. But however you look at it, get started, because you become that local person and you can go anywhere because you become that media mogul. And you just never know what you can do with it. But the sky's the limit and beyond, because you're doing some things that's great. People want to be seen, and you have that opportunity to do that with your own channel or just being on Roku.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, sis, for doing this. I really appreciate it. And let's make it happen. Click the link below. Go ahead and get signed up. Be on Audifying TV or get your own network. Do it today. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Books for Athletes podcast. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and leaving us reviews. And be sure, if you're interested and you want to get your book done, make sure you check out our free case study video at www.booksforathletes.com. Also, if you'd like for me to come to speak to your students, or you're having an event and you need a speaker, I would love to be a part of it. Just shoot me an email at booksforathletes.com. Until then, we'll see you on the next episode.